the world was built to favor men. Funding globally, maybe 4% goes to women, to female founders, because one, we don't even have that many female founders to even start with. Not start talk of the ones that actually waste the long game. We need more women to actually not just build big businesses and good businesses. They also need to tell the world and show the world what they're doing so that more people can see that we're actually doing this. We can actually do it. So trust us with your money. We're not going to run it with your money.
So why do you think that they have to do make special effort to advertise or publicize grants for women?
Because women don't apply. The truth is, and I think in my opinion, and I think also data shows it, the world was built to favor men. Let's not argue it. Let's not,
I was almost going to jump on Frank's head on that conversation because everything in the world was built to favor men.
It was built to favor women. Even like designing work to be 9 to 5. Little things like that you say, okay, yes, it's okay for men and women to go 9 to 5. But the truth is, a lot of times you see that women, most times, I'm not saying all, are the ones that are thinking about dropping off the kids in school, picking them up. They're the ones that actually get pregnant because it is not possible for a man to get pregnant. They're the ones that will get pregnant. Sometimes they have to leave work. They take compulsory maternity leave, right? Some people may not be able to get back to work because they're down, they have mental health issues, they have other health issues that come with pregnancy, and they know that they have to take a long time off work. Sometimes they can't get back into the workforce. There's so many issues that are already against the women to even start with, right? So, which is why I see a lot of people, and those are not the only reasons, but those are some of the reasons why a lot of people are thinking about creating things that actually are tailored, to help the women. People don't neglect. I don't think the men are neglected. Like I said, the world has already been built to favor men, which is why there's now a small focus. I won't say it's not even a huge focus. There's a small focus on men. On women. Also, you'd find out that there are a lot of male funders. Right? Funding globally, maybe 4% goes to women, to female founders, because one, we don't even have that many female founders to even start with. Not start talk of the ones that actually waste the long game or the ones that actually raise over $1 million is almost there. I think there are only about 4% of women who have actually raised over $1 million in the world. Right? So you can already see that the stacks are already stacked against us, right? So if we don't create those specific funds, more than likely when somebody comes to pitch to you, most likely you're going to choose the man. Let me give you a simple example. I saw a video yesterday of the founder of Beyond Simi, who had worked like crazy years in the investment banking space. I think over 10 years or something. She was now trying to start her business. She was about to raise funding. She had signed agreements with a couple of funders or investors. And the minute they heard she was pregnant, 4 investors pulled out. That case, a man can never experience it because a man cannot get pregnant. Do you understand? So if you don't create funds that are focused, and guess what? That business today is doing fantastically well. So I'm sure those people will be regretting. And thankfully, that kind of thing where you say in your face, like, I did it anyway, So we need more women to actually not just build big businesses and good businesses. They also need to tell the world and show the world what they're doing so that more people can see that we're actually doing this. We can actually do it. So trust us with your money. We're not going to run it with your money, things like that. And already investors know that a lot of times when they build their portfolio, it's not all the businesses that actually do well. So why can't you just entrust some in the hands of these women? Even though when you already know that some businesses are going to fail, that's not the focus, but at least give us that specific fund, and we'll make it happen.
So I see how interesting you've been. Okay, go ahead.
Do you think funding is gender based? What do I mean by that? If I give you 1,000 naira and I say I need 10% return on investment on that 1,000 naira, which is 1,100 naira. In the business world, are you thinking of women? If I open a shop, do I want a woman to come patronize me or a man?
Not necessarily.
It's an open playing
field. Yes, it's an open playing field.
So
but you'd find
we're talking about gender equality now. So it looks like it's no longer equal. The funders are thinking about women.
Not all the funders.
So, yes.
not all the funders.
We hear most of these social programs, we hear this grant.
They're still not enough.
Okay.
If you look at portfolio VC companies and you look at their makeup of their portfolio companies, you still see more men. check all the funders in Nigeria who are doing well. Their portfolio companies, more than likely you would see.
So
men.
could it be that because most grants about women are advertised, and that's why he thinks
yes, there's a lot of advertisement and all that
for grants for women? Why do you think?
Not even just grants, even funding generally.
So why do you think that they have to do make special effort to advertise or publicize grants for women?
Because women don't apply.
Oh,
that's exactly
as well.
What I was
That's another
say.
problem too.
So there's an extra push.
There's an extra. I've had women tell me, because we give out grants to women, right? And part of the process is that they have to do a video pitch. So they have to submit their video pitches and all that. They tell me, I cannot do it. I don't want my husband to see it. My husband will think I'm begging on the internet. There's all sorts of issues. Some women, there was one woman we gave a grant to 2 years ago. And this year, we were now partnering with a bigger organization. And the girl's husband reached out to the organization and said, why do you trust that company? They said they're going to give my wife a grant. They didn't give her. And they were putting her name all over the internet as if they gave her. They're a fraud. So this woman reached out to me and said, Ife, please, what is this? I'm reading. I don't like this. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's weird. Everybody who we've said we're going to give money to, we've given them the money. So we started digging deep. And we pay money into our economy accounts for all our beneficiaries, because obviously you must have a economy account once you win and all that. And truth be told, we had actually paid her, but she did not tell her husband, because the husband would have collected the money. So he went to meet her, so I had to give this woman this information. I started calling the girl, calling her, that what's going on? Did you not get the money? Before we not even check, I'm like, hold on, we can actually check this thing out. So we gave the company feedback, and she now had to go back to meet him. That's how in fact, obviously that would have caused another problem at home.
Yay.
She had collected the money, spent it, and told him that she didn't get the money. So there's so many.
She did not use it for the business.
I'm sure she must have used it for the business.
Okay.
But if that man had known, he would have collected the money. And it happens in a lot of homes like that. A lot of women who are making money, they maybe put their salary accounts as their husband's account, or they're paying the money into their husband's account. Immediately they get the money. All kinds of things are happening in the world when it comes to women. A lot of people confuse submission for stupidity, you know?
Is that a gender thing? Is that not governance?
No, I think that's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. It's culture. It's like culturally, some people believe that.
And that's what corporate governance comes to solve. So if you give businesses money, there has to be some things in place to checkmate all the excesses and to checkmate all the excesses that comes with giving them money. So when you fund entrepreneurs, what are the things you look out for when you give them money?
I was still going to come back to that gender thing, but when you're done, because I'm very interested in it.
Do you just leave them to do anything they want with that money? How do you manage the entire portfolio to make sure that whatever they said they're going to use that money for is what they actually said they're going to use it for? Because that's a fundamental problem.
So we actually do that. That's why the money is actually paid into their economy accounts, right? To start with. And periodically we check up on them. Okay, what have you done? How's business growing? Have you hired more people? Have you expanded your product offering? You know, all of that. And we also do capacity building workshops for them. But guess what? People can still fabricate things.
I was going to tell you that this is Nigeria.
It is almost impossible to over monitor them to the T. Do you understand?
Wow.
So it's almost impossible. I've collected grants from companies before too. So it's almost, you would say, oh yes, the company has grown, and you hire people. Let's say, okay, you hire somebody and paying the person maybe 100K or 200K if it's a small business and all that. The remaining money, your husband will have collected it. Do you understand? I know people have collected money, obviously. So some companies give out grants and they don't really follow up. And they've gone to marry other wives. If you hear all kinds of things, and that's why, you know, sometimes it's difficult for you to continue to trust when people, you know, use the money for things that they're not necessarily supposed to use the money for. But these are not the people that we're talking about. Sometimes when women get not even just funding for their businesses, even salaries, they just submit it to their husbands because that's what they feel like submission is, you know. So there are different things that go on culturally in Nigeria. Abroad, it might not be their own issue, but in Nigeria we are pulled back, you know, culturally, and we're not as exposed. So a lot of women are still, you know, doing things in certain ways.
So did you set out to run a business that encourages women from
Oh
the
yes,
get-go?
from the
That
get-go.
was what you
Even
wanted.
yes,
Why
even the
did you want
community.
that?
Because of my experience, growing up. So
That's what you see, Frank. Ngwa, listen to her. Okay, so I like to hear because you sounded very passionate when Frank asked that question. The way you just faced him rather than was facing the conversation squarely. I thought that there may be a backstory to that.
So my mom is a lawyer, my dad is a chemical engineer and also a politician. And so my dad was, the main breadwinner of the family. He did most things for us.
Even though your mother is a lawyer.
Even though my mom was a lawyer, but eventually she quit her career.
Legal profession.
Yes, to focus on the children and all that. And then 17 years later, she wanted to start a business. Her and my dad had split up at the time. And she realized that she didn't have savings. And it wasn't as if, so obviously my dad was taking care of all of us. We never lacked anything. We went to the best schools, everything was going on. But she didn't have savings. So her life literally, it changed in a minute. So
there was no way to continue.
Yeah, we had to move to a Butemeta. We had to buy a better past my neighbor generator, things that I'd never seen before. Like it was a huge change, for even me as a child. We now had a fan, like a ceiling fan in the house. Growing up, I didn't have fans in my, it was AC that I knew. So it was so difficult, but we had to have the fan because better past my neighbor is not going to carry the AC,
So at the time
like
she
that.
left, sorry for asking, prying into your family issues, but at the time she left, your dad didn't make comfortable provision for all of you, understanding that you were living
not all
with
of
her.
us. I was still even in my dad's house. So if I go to school and I come back home, I'll go and stay with my mom. Things
so he
like
didn't
that.
just make this is not my wife now. Make her just.
They were not together anymore.
But he can as well give her a home to settle in and all that.
It doesn't happen like that in real life.
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't happen because it was my mom that chose to move out, right? So it doesn't necessarily happen that okay. And even when you even get that, because now you know that you're on your own, you would just try to manage, what you have. And
what you're saying is very important for women who are in relationships and marriages to know how they can.
They can also, even when you're a housewife, you can grow your wealth. You can save, you can invest, there are different
So let's finish that business, that story.
So I saw how my mom struggled. She had to get a shop in Lagos Island. It was tough. And I was just like, this woman, she's strong because she had to start all over again.
So she set out, she left her legal profession, she forgot about the finesse that comes with being a lawyer. She entered the streets to hustle.
Guess what? She even had one small legal firm in Igboshere that she just set up and everything. She was hustling, doing different things. Today, obviously, my mom is a baby girl. Today she's okay.
Whoa.
And everything. But at the beginning,
how did she manage from that place she was with your dad to back to the street to hustle?
You have to, and that I think that's something that every woman has to have. You have to have the spirit of hustle, no matter where you find yourself. I had another auntie who her husband passed before he was 40, and the family came immediately, took the house, took everything. They even wanted to take the kids, so they had to run off and all that. And I remember advising her, I think I was even 18 at the time. I said, don't move to she wanted to move to Ajangbadi or something. I said, don't move to Ajangbadi, please, because your children will be Ungbati. That's what they'll be speaking. This is not to shame anybody that lives in that area, but I want to have to understand the choice that she had. So I was like, this same money you have that is going to get you a house in Ajangbadi, I believe that you can get something in Aja. Move to Aja, even if it's a one bed. So I advised her, and I was 18, but she took it. My auntie went, got a place in Aja, a one bed. I think it was even like Face Me or something. Face Me, I slapped it. So, but she was okay. Her children were going to a school around the area. Eventually, her son went to Babcock, read computer science. He graduated. He's now working in London.
How did she find the child in Babcock?
She eventually started first a kiosk business. Eventually, she now started doing drinks, and then eventually started doing blocks. So started doing
ice block making machines.
No, blocks for building.
Oh, building blocks.
She eventually built her own block factory and everything, and she just started growing from there. So she built her house. She bought land, built her house in Aja. And when you're doing that business, you'll be networking with all those boys. So they'll be helping you build. And she built a fantastic bungalow in Aja. She was okay. She sent her children to school. Her second daughter is married. Her last son is also in a private university. She's doing very, very well. And this was her starting from scratch without a university degree. So I tell women, you have to have that spirit of hustle. Like me, I know that no matter what happens to me, this is my bare hands. I've worked in shops or in restaurants like Burger King. I've done all kinds of businesses, sales, door-to-door sales, all kinds of things. So there's nothing
your mother
I can't do.
And your auntie's story obviously shaped your decision to ensuring that you work towards something
financial
that can
independence
enable women.
Yes.
Wow.
Financial independence is so important, and there are so many things you can do. Today you can get a job abroad. There are platforms like Upwork. There's so many things that you can do even when you're working from home. Let's say you decide to be a stay-at-home mom. So I tell people, don't just sit at home. You have to be earning something. That's your dignity. That's the respect. That's your power. You can't just sit around, no matter how rich your husband is. Anything can happen with the twinkle of an eye. You might eventually even have to even support him if he has a downtime. He's just one person. Be able to support your husband. That's what earns you, his respect at some point. Because we're all human beings. No matter how much,
because sometimes your husband loves you.
Yeah, he can be down. It happens to each and every one of us. Life can never just be a smooth journey. So you should also be able to bring, something to the table.